The Rio Grande behind me, this arroyo is one of the spots where illegal immigrants cross the border, but they're dealing with a harsh landscape, and in the middle of the day, triple-digit heat is one of the many dangers. Take a look behind me. There are long lines coming into the United States, and folks say they want to see things go faster. Today's story takes us all the way to Ojinaga, Mexico. As you can see behind me, they're gearing up for a big festival this weekend called the Reencuentro, a welcome homecoming of sorts for folks coming to visit. It's a very unique crossing because folks can go across in boats here.
Podemos igual.
El gobierno de los Estados Unidos necesita aduanales que son mujeres. El reporte hoy en Canal 7 a las 10 desde Presidio y Marfa.
We are children of the river, where the water is a color and it stains upon our clothing.
We don't turn children away. How can we turn children away? We can't do that. America can't turn children away.
As Mayor of Presidio, I would just like to make it very clear that I support the humane treatment of these immigrant children. I think one child, one lawyer. One child, one lawyer. One child, one lawyer.
How about, what are we going to do with the ones deported?
Bring them back.
Go get them, bring them back.
We are mistreating them so harshly that it's anybody in their right consciences. This is unthinkable.
Crossing borders made from ashes. Crossing borders made from plastic. Crossing borders made from dollars.
That we want these children to have due process, a lengthy due process, and those that have been deported, they should be brought back and given the same due process.
And our feet will liberate you, and our love will liberate you, and the borders will all perish. We just have to find a better way to deal with these kids, and I think in the interim, we need to take care of them as best we can.
Take our hands, our feet will guide you.
It's very quiet here, it's real safe. I enjoy it.
Laurie Holman is one gate and dirt road from a spot on the Rio Grande River where people chance crossing.
I call it my sidewalk to Mexico. Because normally there's not even water.
Many pay mules or coyotes to bring them across. Last week, Holman saw a man and his two young daughters alone on the American side in the dark of night, likely waiting for a paid escort that never came.
It's hard over there, so they'll risk anything to better their lives. Well, your first instinct is to pick them up, pick up those little girls, bring them back. I said, do you have water? Do you have food? Are y'all okay? So I checked on them, worrying about them. Finally, I said, guys, I can't leave you out here. And they came and got them. There wasn't any other choice but to do that.
The Rio Grande behind me, this arroyo is one of the spots where illegal immigrants cross the border, but they're dealing with a harsh landscape, and in the middle of the day, triple-digit heat is one of the many dangers.
There's a lack of water. When they start crossing, they cross over the mountains, over that way, and it is rough and rugged, rattlesnakes in the night, and it's just real rough.
Holman is leery of what increased patrol might mean for the border.
Here, it's pretty quiet, I don't see a whole lot of it. I don't know if it'll make things better or if it will cause more harm than good.
With an eye on Presidio County, Matt Rist, CBS 7 News.
Climate change. A couple days out of it.
Okay.
And I started on June 20th at Stony Pass. I've been following the river ever since. So the traveling days, it's either kayak, canoe, or foot. Interview days, it's just I try to find people who have an interaction with the river or whose daily lives are influenced by the river. So farmers and ranchers, and then I ask them how changes of the river have impacted them. The reason there's no water coming out of the Rio Grande here is not because of climate change, it's because there's no water being let out of Caballo and Elephant Butte Dam. We get to decide what the Rio Grande is going to be, and not very many people realize how big of an influence we do have on the river. It's been dry since 1916. Like, this is not new. You know, the vast majority of people, especially on this river, they don't see it. And we see people arguing about border issues, but the river itself is almost ignored. We either get to decide what we want the river to be, or we kind of let things go as they are, and the river will continue to disappear. And so I just want to show people, this is what the river is, this is why it is the way it is. If I can achieve that, then this project will be a success.
It's a sound that could save your life.
Living out in such a remote area, like Presidio is, like I said, the nearest hospital is 100 miles away, the nearest trauma center is 4 hours away. It's really easy to have a situation that turns badly here.
EMTs used to travel 100 miles to Alpine. Many patients still had to wait for a plane there. 30% of all Trauma 1 patients died, in part because of that wait. Now less than 1% pass away.
Ready? You ready?
Yep.
The actual survival rate has improved very drastically. We can now get helicopters and additional fixed-wing services that come in and are able to evacuate patients in a more timely manner.
Presidio EMTs now also carry more medications than most. It helps in a highly traveled area without a hospital.
We run one of the most aggressive services in the state. We carry a lot of medicines and use a lot of interventions that have been tried and tested in military settings. We've seen a lot of improvements in not just survival, but actual healthcare outcomes.
With 200 medical flights from Presidio in 2013 alone, the idea is taking off. In Presidio, Matt Rist, CBS 7 News.